So, game number 1 in our round-robin match here at the Sisters Calls Cup. We have Team Zuxi going up against Team Gachi. And, well, once again, the quick reminder that this is a tournament that is employing several rules to change the draft up. They use the META Madness format. But before we go into that more in detail, let's quickly introduce our players here. We got Valla for the blue team on Suljin. Gachi is playing Tyrael. We got Polinka on Rega here on Battlefield of Eternity. Gamer Boy is playing Falstad and Hammarine on Thrall. As over on the right side, we get Zuxi on Artanis, trying to get some extra damage in on the Immortal, with Harkness on Arthas, Aldante on Deckard Cain, Whitey on Liming, and Arkunis is playing Cassia. So, 25 heroes are pre-banned in this tournament, so this is the full-on META Madness rule set, and then in addition to that, heroes that are played cannot be played again. The whole idea is really to push people outside of the box. Now, this is not the official META Madness, this is basically a Polish version that Richo is running every now and then, using the same format that I use for the official tournaments, and this is all with the Polish community. 95% of the players here are from Poland, and Suljin is going down quickly. Yeah, well, that's one way to stop his stacking for sure. So, a little bit of a pressure play at the bottom of the map already from the foreman that we get from Team Zuxi. And they've been so far doing pretty alright in the round-robin phase. Now we have 6 teams in total, and the round-robin is essentially designed to determine the seeding for the playoffs. There's a lot of prizes on the line, not necessarily prize money, but I believe it's prizes roughly worth $1,500 that are being distributed here. And we have a lot of really top-notch players. Somebody was asking the other day what the general level of play is. We have several grandmasters and top players in this tournament. I mean, there's quite a few names that actually should ring a bell with you if you're watching regularly on the channel and watch the prize money tournaments that we normally run here. Tyrael is going for the Ardent Restoration on level 1, so he's playing around with some globes, which is actually not all that common when you're thinking about Battlefield of Eternity, because for obvious reasons we have only 2 lanes and not that many globes around. That's something that he can try and use. Gachi himself also in trouble now, has to be careful, and is getting away from Arthas here. Suljin still keeps stacking, and we already have the first half back to base here from Rega as up at the top. It seems like Thrall is having a pretty good time against Artanis. Now, Artanis picked here for multiple reasons, but I went over this already in one of the previous series. There are a lot of the typical damage dealers that we have on Battlefield of Eternity that got the axe, that got pre-banned, that are not available anymore. Greymane would be a good example, but of course that also is in regards to Valla, Hanzo, and so on and so forth. So when you're looking for straight-up Immortal Burst, Artanis is actually filling that role now nicely. And therefore, they include him here, even though he might not be the best offlaner choice on this map or in the game in general. But with level 4, we also have Frozen Wastes now, so Arthas is going to work on control as all of this continues. It's going to help him also a lot against Thrall, against Suljin, always assuming that he gets there. But with the first objective now spawning, this is really where the teams can start to wreak a little bit of havoc initially. Camps have been taken, but only one actually. We have Rega now trying to defend here and push with the team after they just took one camp out. They still have their own shaman camp. Took that a little bit early. Normally you see it timed around the Immortal, which is exactly what Team Zuxi is now doing. This particular play makes it much easier for Team Zuxi to now destroy this camp. So a bit of an advantage on the macro level already for them. So yeah, not too bad. At this point, the halftime show therefore is an easy win for the red team. Actually, for the blue team, sorry. They were able to grab that first. They also rotated their heroes now up towards the top, trying to get the shaman here. Whereas over on the left side, the attack still continues, and it seems like Gachi might be in trouble. Gets killed and destroyed. Nicely done. So, over on the right side, still some damage done by Zuxi himself, and they're starting to take the lead on all of this. We now have 2 kills to 0 already for the red team, so they're doing fairly alright. The shield is low on their own Immortal, and that's a bit of an issue, but they should have the power to grab themselves the first objective here, albeit with a low shield. And yep, they get it, but are they going to lose Cassia? Seems like they might, and indeed they do. Cassia is gone. The swap on Falstad, but they can't get the kill here. That would have been pretty neat if they could have gotten the kill and go for 4 versus 4. But now Deckard Cain is the one that has to run away here, and he falls too. So job well done by Team Gachi. They lose the objective, but they're able to get themselves 2 kills, and that makes the defense so much easier for them right now. So really not a problem to take the Immortal down, and that also means that it won't get a ton of damage here. I mean, this is about as good as a defense as it gets. Not even the wall is fully destroyed. Doesn't get much better than that. Down at the bottom of the map, our 1v1 just continues. Thrall has decided to not go into stacks on level 4, but instead we have him aim for Mana Tide here as his level 4 talent, and then we get Ancestral Wrath as his level 7 choice. For the red team, it's a little bit of a weird one, because initially they got their first 2 kills, they got the objective, and then just when it mattered the most, they're losing 2 of their heroes and have to just sit there and watch the Immortal essentially do nothing. So good defense by Team Gachi, and they have even taken a lead in experience right now. So nice for them. We have Artanis down at the bottom of the map now up against 2. Falstad as the only global in the game has of course still the opportunity to just rotate around a little bit and try to, well, maybe gank up on the solo laner, which hasn't worked out for them just yet, but he can at least apply pressure. Talking about applying pressure, after Suljin was initially attacked, now they're trying to go for Cassia, and they're turning on Arthas and are able to get themselves another kill. That's quite a bit of momentum right now for Team Gachi. Falstad flies down to the bottom of the map. Thrall rotating top allowed for that fight, but with Falstad they can make sure that they're not losing too many hit points on the structures down here. And they even get a kill with it. Nice! Artanis is dead too. That's 4 kills to 2. The blue team is gaining momentum all of a sudden. So yeah, good for them. Taking a couple of the shamans down, or not so shamans, the Khazras down here, and the shaman camp will be addressed pretty quickly now that we have the second objective up on the map. But there's still poke happening topside where the wall is slowly falling. The problem for Team Zugzi is simply that we're now looking at a level 10 ability any second for the blue team, so it makes it really difficult to approach the objective and force a fight there. We're talking about fights, the blue team already wants to have some additional kills before that's even a thing. We have Arthur sitting at the side, trying for Falstad, but won't be able to get them a kill. That would have been probably the only way to get back into the game a little bit, if you're able to get a kill here and get at least a numbers advantage, because now that they're behind 1 talent, they gotta be mega careful. You have Judgment 2 on Tyrael, so that allows him very easily to engage and force a fight. Gotta be cautious, because if there's a follow-up from, let's say, Falstad, Fly, Gust, isolate the target further, or the Sundering, then you can always get a quick kill here. But they burn down the Immortal, so the blue team is winning the second objective. We've seen at least some damage done by the red team, and honestly this is more than I expected them to be able to do, because that was a pretty solid gap with that level 10 ability. Now they will have it for the defense now. You can assume so, and there it is. That gives us the Army of the Dead now for Arthas. We have also the Suppression Pulse, so Artanis can help to try and protect that fort at the top lane, which is already getting soon, or about to get damaged, because the Immortal is working on the last tower as we speak. 4 kills, 2-2. Down at the bottom of the map, we still have that 1 versus 1, which Artanis has essentially been losing ever since this game started. So Thrall is just too good of a side laner. Artanis can't really deal with that right now. There's that self-sustain that he brings to the table. And yeah, well, that's the thing. So at this point, we're having the push still happening up at the top, but the fort is low. They can still hold on to it, so good for them. And down at the bottom of the map with the wall also fallen here, Thrall just continues to pressure. Half a level of a lead. That one is not going to disappear that quickly, unless of course they're able to net themselves some kills. And I gotta say that it's nice to see Suljin stacking this well, because we've seen a lot of Suljin plays ever since the change came in at the early stages of the year, and ever since Suljin had some real troubles. Nice Ancestral, and the ult of Suljin himself. They get the kill on Cassia again, and they might be able to get another one here. Arthas is walking away, the camp is being taken. Falstad has died, so it's a kill for a kill, but the mercenary camp ended up in the hands of Team Gachi and might just allow them to push for that first structure in the game now. And for Suljin, he's sitting at 14 stacks now, 22 stacks on the Ardent Restoration for Tyrael, and the pressure at the top lane just continues. If Team Zugzi wants to get like a good spot in their game, a good position, they need to win some team fights. And that, of course, is always possible with Li Ming being here and trying to go for resets. If she can... I mean, let's say if Kai'Sa, for example, gets a couple of the heroes low and then Li Ming can go in and get herself some kills with Calamity, they could really snowball one of those fights. And this is basically what the red team is now banking on. Tyrael didn't go for Sanctification, but picked Judgment instead, so he can't play around that. But they can always engage on the target and try to blow it up quickly. And we got Ensnare on level 13. That's once again a talent advantage for Team Gachi as we are entering the next objective phase. There's half a level that they need to bridge. That's not impossible, still something that they can do. But right now, we're already looking at the blue team attempting to get themselves a small advantage on this. Howling Blast does not connect. They're still poking here. Suljin, of course, has to be a bit careful. He doesn't have his ult. Another few seconds are missing. So he needs to be super careful how he approaches this. Atanas is at the bot lane, trying to get the experience for level 13 so that he can fight on eye level. Until then, the red team is just interested in defending their own Immortal. And it's not going all that well. So they lose the halftime show. Have done 0 damage themselves, and now that they are sending the rest of the heroes towards the top, they are picking up the XP that they need for 13. So 13 is in. That gives us also Illusionist right now, but the attack continues and the red team's Immortal is gonna fall any second. That's 100% on the shield right now. Judgment on Li Ming, Sundering, and she's dead. The Gust being used, Thrall still alive, and so is Suljin. I gotta say, really nicely done by Team Gachi. They might still lose Thrall here, and they do, but it's a 4 versus 4 now. And the Immortal at the bottom of the map should at minimum be able to take that fort for them. So lots of momentum now for Team Gachi. Team Zugzi is still desperately trying to defend here, but if the blue team just pushes in a little bit... Oh, nice swap! But the barrel roll was still active, so Falstad could get out, but he still gets murdered! Maybe the red team is starting to facilitate a bit of a comeback after all. They're still defending against the Immortal. Suljin is low. He's dead too. Arthas gets killed for his efforts. But they are starting to push the opponent back and are really doing a number now on their aggression. The fort falls regardless though. This is the second Immortal of the game. We have now 13 kills, by the way, in total at the 12-minute mark roughly. 2 structures soon to be destroyed, assuming the Thrall is pushing for the fort. I mean, at this point you could have argued he might have just been better off running past the minion wave and going straight for the fort to eliminate it. Doesn't really have a whole lot of hit points, but by now he's of course too late. The red team is already in position to defend, but yeah, this thing is gonna fall one way or another. It might take them another minute or two, but it's definitely gonna get destroyed eventually. So, camp is taken. They were fast enough. Not enough heroes for the blue team around that could deal with it. 16 in a second for Team Gachi. And, well, with Falstad now running the bot lane, that is, of course, another concern here, because they can still leverage the global, keep at the bottom of the map up against Satanis, and then Falstad, if he's needed at the top, can just simply fly and do his thing. We got 22 stacks also for Suljin, so he's working on those quest rewards. And he might actually get a fair amount of output towards the end of the game from the looks of it so far. Completes the build here with No Mercy on 16 after initially speccing into the Bone Slicer and then following that up with Vicious Assault on level 7. The fort at the top is now taken out. Level 16 talents that will probably not last into the objective itself. Immortal is spawning in 20 seconds, and this should actually give more than enough time to the red team to get their own level 16. Frost Strike from Arthas on 13, so he could definitely follow that up with more of his trade talents. They seem to be trying to go for Artanis here. The Wolf missing, Judgment didn't, but, well, Deckard Cain select. Nice Sundering, very good Sundering. But the turnaround attempt from Deckard Cain as he pops his ult. Stay a while and listen. But yeah, nobody was listening to him apparently. They weren't really impressed. So now we got level 16 talents on both sides, which follows up on Arthur's Remorseless Winter. After his level 4 quest was already completed. Mirror Ball for Li Ming. And it's time for the next objective. So right now the leading experience still goes to Team Gachi. But the attack is coming as we're having the play made for potentially Tyrael. Gets his holy ground out. Akun is in a bit of trouble here with Cassius. He's trying to go for the kill, and the Ancestral is connecting with Tyrael. They turn on Harkness, nearly get a kill on Arthas, but it's Tyrael after all that falls just a bit later. The problem is that Artanis, after making that kill, gets also focused down and is once again gone. That's now 8 kills to 7. And down at the bottom of the map, another victory here for Team Gachi. I gotta say, these guys are doing some serious work here. Early game, the first few moves were not really ending up in their favor, but right now they're absolutely crushing it. That's the second Immortal in a row that they are running. They have destroyed all of the structures on the other team's side, which is obviously pretty big. 2 forts are down, only the keeps are still remaining. And yeah, we'll see how much damage they can now do, because this is a big boy. This is a massive shield that we have. Red team is trying to flank in and attempts to get themselves an easy quick kill because Tyrael isn't here yet, so they're trying, but they're ending getting gusted into a corner. Cassia is gone, and now the Tyrael arrives and Artanis is already defending. This is going to cost them more heroes. Al Dante goes down and Li Ming is also eliminated. So 2 more heroes dead, 3 in total, and we're going for Arthas, and he's not making it either. What a brutal display here, and we might, I mean, this might be game. The shield on the Immortal is already down, granted, but there's only 1 survivor, and it is the liability. So this isn't really looking good for Team Zugzi. They're getting attacked here pretty heavily, and the core will take damage no matter what. The question is just simply, how much damage is it going to take? And, well, I guess the answer is all of it. That's game. We have Team Gachi with the 1-0 lead in the best of 3 series here at the group stage of the Sisters Call Cup. Nicely done. They take the W over the red team in the first game of the series. GG. We're going to head straight into game number 2, but before we do, once again guys, if you enjoy the coverage on the channel here, if you enjoy the match, please like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. It also helps to boost the game to an even wider audience. And of course, it helps to get people back into Heroes of the Storm, as the algorithm recommends the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past. So again, before we continue, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Appreciate it. And with that, we're heading straight into the second map of the series. Map number 2. Well, off we go. We have once again Team Gachi against Team Zugzi, and the blue team is in the lead. And we again on Hanamura. This is the biggest surprise in this tournament, that Hanamura is actually part of it and gets picked quite frequently. Now the blue team with Valla on Reyna. We get Gamer Boy on Medivh. Hammarine is playing Chen. We got Gachi on Murden, and Paul Linka is playing Malfurion. The Reyna pick is actually interesting for some specific reasons. We'll go over that in a moment. But first, on the right side, we have Team Zugzi with the man himself, the captain, on Malthael, Harkness on Varian, Akunis on Jaina, we get Al Dante on Uther, and Whitey on Tychus. Like, the interesting thing for me that we now have Jimmy here is that I've seen now multiple games played from Team Zugzi, and they seem to love picking Jimmy here. They go Exterminator, and they heavily focus on the Sentinels and the cams in general. So I'm not 100% certain that the Jimmy pick that we're now seeing from the blue team is necessarily one where they say, hey, we want that hero for ourselves. But it could also be that they are, amongst other things, another reason why they're picking him is trying to take it away from the opponent. So I wouldn't put it past them, considering how Team Zugzi has been playing so far, on Hanamura in particular. But it's just interesting to me that we have Hanamura here, and yes, we'll see how this goes. Now, there are, of course, new map changes coming in. Keep that in mind. Again, if you haven't watched my video on the patch yet, I would highly suggest that you're heading to YouTube and you just scroll down the video list a little bit. Blizzard released a new PTR patch, and this time it addresses way more than just some balance changes of heroes, but it is actually heavily centered around maps and some general aspects that will affect gameplay for all maps and just for Heroes or the Storm in total. So if you haven't seen that yet, I would highly recommend that you check it out, because it's probably one of the biggest patches that we've had ever since Blizzard cancelled AHTC and essentially put the game into maintenance mode. So yeah, again, video can be found on YouTube. Now, with level 1, we're getting our Sentinels taken. We have also Arcane Rift with 4 stacks. Not really something to write home about. It's like, yeah, I got 4. Alright. Even if he dies at this point, he's still totally okay. But they're moving towards the top, trying to defend against the Sentinel. Down at the bottom of the map, it's going to be Malthael that's going to do this one solo. And over here, yeah, the attacks just keep coming. So they're starting to make the moves now for the wall, trying to take that apart, and the red team is completely pushing with everything that they have. They need to win 2 in a row if they want to take this match. So can Team Gachi go for the 2-0 victory, or how is this going to play out for them now? Down at the bottom of the map, we still have Malthael sitting tight. Over here now, quick penetrating round from Jimmy as Varian came a little bit too close for comfort. Still has another taunt available in 4 more seconds, so they could try and turn it, but he's also dropping quickly in HP, and that probably shuts the door on all of the potential aggression. The Sentinel at the bottom of the map has also done some damage. The wall is not completely destroyed. Zugzy was able to defend it, and now we have the first objective up, so it's payload time on Hanamura. And not a single kill yet. By the way, we have the build around Tychus with a bit of a hybrid here for YD. So we have Grenade build initially, but then on level 4 he's going straight into In the Rhythm. Now they're pairing this off with a taunt on Varian, so if played properly he should be able to stack very quickly here. But kind of stands to reason that they are still planning on going for a Grenade build all in all. There's just a bit of an adjustment that he makes here on level 4 for the team fight value later on in the game. But yeah, if they want to get the trade value, they got to make sure that they are teeing Tychus up a little bit more. He got few more stacks here, especially since Jaina started to slow Muradin down. But the real value would be had if they can just get a taunt through and time that properly with Tychus. And he's already waiting for the next approach here, I would assume. Portal's coming out. Alright, they're trying to chase Jaina. In comes the flank, there's the taunt, and they're starting to make their play. Also, again, we're having Tychus with a few more stacks that he's able to accumulate as everybody is going into the big battle. We now have, yeah, well, all the way up at the top. Chen still moving around here and going for the next camp. But at the bot lane, it seems like this particular payload is not going to make it to the bottom of the map just yet. And you wouldn't really assume so, right? This is still early on in the game. You need a couple of kills in order to get that done, but both of the teams are still fighting around it. With the red team taking the lead, at least at the beginning, they have now the time and freedom to go for their own Sentinel quickly. Obviously, the same is also happening for Team Gachi as more of the vision camps are now being claimed. But with level 7 on the board, we might see the first big fight happening here. So far, nobody was willing to fully commit to any of these battles yet. They were all just dancing around and trying to dodge as best as they could. And yeah, Jaina is now moving in at the bottom of the map, trying to take the next minion wave out. They still have to deal with that Sentinel. Chen is at the top lane for that very reason. So for the red team, this is a bit beneficial because they can defend with 4. But they also at the same time have to go up against 4, so that's the downside of all of this. But here comes the taunt, and more stacks from Tychus, who also gets pushed back by a penetrating round. The Sentinel is about to go down. Chen at the top lane was also successful with his defense. And Jaina is trying to get some more damage in so that she can get her baseline reward and the ice block. That's not really coming together yet. Another taunt, and here come the hits from Tychus. They get 25 now. They're burning Muradin down, and they might even be able to get the kill, and indeed they do. Muradin is dead. The dwarf is gone, and that is first blood in the game. 5 minutes in. Now, quick reminder that most of this was played out in a 5 versus 4 scenario. Chen is still all alone at the top. Marcel is probably going to go over and give him some company, but the shots are being fired. We have the first shot set unlocked thanks to the payload being escorted in, and that pushes the bot lane just a bit. That's going to help them to do some damage here. Medivh, just double checking what's happening on the map. Very curious boy. Yeah, flying around here. He's pretty himself up today. I mean, look at this. A little bit of purple in there. Gotta appreciate that. So, with the next few camps on the map at the top left, Malthael is just checking it. The team could actually move in and try and steal that away. Chen is still sitting on the lane and has apparently no interest to move anywhere else. Medivh is of course following them wherever he can, so if they would try to make a play for that camp, he would know immediately and the blue team would react accordingly. But it's a very, very slow second game. I mean, game number 1 was just like fights. And now Team Zugzy is playing this much more cautiously. They get their level 10 abilities, and I can only assume that once we have heroics on both sides, it's going to get a lot more aggressive. Because now we have last rites, for example, so Tigers can start to burn people down, and then we're going to get the follow-up from Malthael. Divine Shield. Leyline, obviously, for Medivh, and the only question mark, or one of the question marks, is currently Malfurion. I think Tigers is unlikely to go into Drill, but I mean, who knows? Maybe he's just letting Odin slide. And there's Odin, okay. So there's the taunt, and he's dead. He's not dead! My apologies, how the hell? Okay, he might still okay, there it is. It took a little bit longer, and Malthael didn't get a stack. But I expected him to get wrecked way sooner than this. Now this is kill number 2. Team Zugzy again in a bit of a lead. The 2 StarCraft heroes are going ham. Look at that. Hyperion gets launched by Reyna, and then we got instantly good old Tigers dropping Odin on us as they're pushing for fort number 1. Malthael is still at the bottom of the map, and Jaina is already so low that she is not able to really contribute anything here. Can maybe work in one ability or two, but so far not being able to do too much. So, as it stands, the portal is out, and they're trying to, of course, get the kills now. So they're up on the chase, and they get Tigers first. Jaina is somehow still able to move out, and nope! Caster Curse strikes immediately, she gets isolated and gets killed. And that's 2 heroes down. Uther is also being followed. They're going full 3-man on him. And now we're looking at, in total, 4 kills to 2. I am having pretty massive deja vu vibes. I mean, not even joking. Game number 1, what did we see? 2-0 kill lead for Team Zugzy, and then 4 in a row for their opponents, and that's exactly what we're now witnessing again. So, I don't know why, but they seem to be doing pretty okay that early on, and then they're running into trouble. Now that we have the next objective up, it can be slowly escorted by Team Gachi. We have 29 stacks for Medivh. The blue team is back up on the map with 5, now that Muradin and Reyna have both gone back to the Nexus and healed. And of course, after the deaths that were suffered by Team Zugzy, they're now also back in full force. And go instantly for some of the camps here. They have taken a backseat on experience, but this could still be turned around. It's not a big advantage, it really isn't. Early level 13, yes, but it's a small advantage that they're running. We now got Line 'em Up for the cooldown reduction. And we have also Enduring Will, for example, with Muradin going into the Bronzebeard Rage. And it's all about trying to escort the payload now. And the blue team is getting a pretty decent head start here. The Sentinel gets attacked first, and I'm not sure if the red team is then really making a play for the top. Malthael could now rotate, and I suppose slowly does. That fort at the bottom is very, very low. But the payload nearly made it. So, yep, they get their Sentinel, but they miss out on the payload. And that's shots fired against the red team structure. But they're trying to force the team fight now. But thanks to the portal, they're totally okay. Easy move out of harm's way. Muradin gets taunted, though. Has to be very careful. The shield is out early. They want the kill, and they get the kill. The ley line too late. The shield on cooldown. Stack number 1. For Malthael. And that's a fort gone. So they get a lot of damage with this. And they're apparently trying to get a bit more. Break through that wall. They're totally not intimidated by the portals that could potentially come out. Now that Muradin is missing, that's also the main source of CC for Team Gachi. Ignoring the ley line as an ult for just a moment. The damage output so far, we got 28,000, 29,000 for Tigers, 24,000 for Jimmy. So the StarCraft universe is currently reigning supreme when it comes to the raw damage numbers. More camps to be taken. And a bit of an upper hand now once again for the red team. So they're not doing too bad here. So be careful that they're not getting wrecked again. It's kind of funny also that Malthael, the Angel of Death, is the only one, or the aspect of death, that has not died yet. Level 4. Level 13 for Tigers. That's the stuff, so he gets the heal. He's sitting at 48 minigun stacks now. That's roughly 1.5 seconds of additional duration on the minigun. And will, of course, make his stacking also a bit easier. We're already 11 minutes into the game, but at this point you can get some serious damage out during one of the team fights if it comes to a big battle. Hyperion gets used. They're trying to zone them away from the Sentinel as quickly as they can, which is starting to destroy the tower here. So some damage on the fort, not too much. We have topside still Chen sitting tight. And yeah, they are already looking for another taunt with Varian. Plenty of camps, of course, to be taken, but the team is roaming around and is looking for opportunities, as Medivh is probably debating whether or not he just wants to drop and get the next and final hit in, because he's sitting at 39 stacks, so he's about to complete his baseline quest. And once he hits 40, I mean, he can play a bit more aggressive, but it also will help them to boost his damage even further. The leading experience for Team Zugzy is now manifesting itself in a very quick level 16. That gives us the Numbing Blast, and we have also Benediction. As expected, the grenade build has been continued, so it's a bit of a hybrid that they're running here between auto attack and grenades, but they're still prioritizing grenades over anything else. Sentinel taken at the top right, and we got the next payload spawning in a couple of seconds, with Jimmy now picking up his own level 16 talent. And in addition to that, we're now getting Dwarf Launch, and we got the Moonlit Harmony here. Okay, now, down at the bottom of the map, Malthael is still defending. He needs to join the team if they really want to take a team fight. They can't just 4v5 all of this. This isn't happening. So Malthael now slowly on the move here. Yeah, they join that fun, and here's the Stormbolt against 2. Taunt. Already out. They're trying again for Muradin. Where is that ult when you need it? Not there. He jumps out, gets away. Malthael was waiting for the shield. They're dropping Medivh. He completes the quest and instantly dies. Quest complete. Time to feed. Could argue he got a little bit lucky there. I mean, check this one out. So they are full on in the fight. And now have a look at Medivh. He completes the quest and then a second later gets killed. I mean, just right away. So 5 kills to 4. Medivh gone. He's not the only one. Chen died too. That means they're running a 5 versus 3 at the top lane now. And Team Zugzy, they might have a shot at claiming victory on Hanamura and tying the series up to force game number 3. Now we're not there quite yet, but they're still pushing. Medivh is back in 4 seconds. And there's obviously also the payload that is still getting escorted in. So the payload is slowly advancing, and they should be able to claim it. And once that they do... Oh, they're trying to contest this. The taunt, the damage, ley line. They really want that fight. They're jumping in, but they're also dropping a bit low. Payload could appear here. Here comes the water elemental. Maybe they were too cavalier trying to escort that payload in. It's mega close, but they don't have it yet. Ice block on Jaina, and she's dead. Jaina's down. Uther is also gone. That's a double. Make it a triple. Zugzy is also taken out, and that is 3 heroes eliminated. Great job by the blue team. Preventing the payload from being claimed and preventing the worst as they take multiple kills against the red team and come back into this game. So super close. I mean, really intense battle between the two of them now. Team Gachi, of course, wants to end it here. They want that 2-0 victory. Now we have Muradin solo escorting the payload currently. Varian is saying hi, but there is no way they can defend this. No, this one is going to be taken by Team Gachi. They just don't have enough heroes on the map. If Jaina spawned a little... I mean, even then. Even if Jaina was there, they would have not gone for it. It's more about the Sentinel now, the top 2. So Team Gachi is getting tons of momentum. They get their own camps, they destroy the bottom 4, they have their Sentinel, they take the Sentinel of the red team away. And this is just a great start for them. Into... Well, not start, but like this is a great second map for them right now. They struggled in the early and in the mid game, but now things are looking much better. And they could be the ones to close the series out with a 2-0. They got everything right now. They got all of the camps, they got the Sentinels, they got the objective, and it results in them closing the gap in experience and even pulling slightly ahead. 47,000 damage now for Tychus. Jimmy is sitting at 41,000. Lots of siege damage for him too. Hyperion really coming through for him here. So Malfurion and Jimmy are the only ones that haven't died in the entire game so far. As we now start moving back down towards the next few camps. And yeah, teams are slowly starting to make some more plays on this. Especially when we're talking about the blue team. They are dominating the map. They're looking yeah, pretty solid here. Half a level to 20. But look at the minimap alone. I mean, they have full vision here. You could take those walls out too. That would probably be a pretty smart move, just to deny more vision to the opponent's team and keep them guessing a little bit. But they are the ones who are just rotating from one lane to another. It's not really a whole lot to do currently, since all of the cams are already taken. And the red team isn't really willing to give them a fight just yet. But they take the walls out now slowly to reduce vision even further. But with that wall, or sorry, with that minion wave, I guess we're going to get level 20 now. And exactly there it is. So that gives us Maiev cheats. We also have rewind. And we get, ooh, for Jimmy, Raiders roll. Alright. And instantly drops another Hyperion on them. Really trying to damage that keep here. Get that siege damage up. That's an ult that you could also use for some of the fights around the payroll, I suppose. So I'm not 100% certain that's really the smartest choice to use it on the keep. It's not a horrible one, if you ask me, but I think for a payroll fight that might be yeah, pretty nice. But anyways, now that we have it on both sides, we're getting, for example, no one can stop death. We have also Odin advanced to Big Red Button, the Water Elemental turning into Wintermute. And now that everybody is on Storm Talons, the teams are getting ready for the payload and, of course, to try and settle things here. Payload. This payload could technically already start to end the game if you just win a fight around it and then you get the shots fired, remove a keep and make your play towards the core. That's all that you essentially need to do. Mirrodin already jumping out. No interest in getting caught there again. Even with Maiev around. And Maiev is immediately setting up a portal just saying hi. So now that they go for the Sentinel, it seems like Team Gachi is actually willing to fight for this. Portal placement is also interesting, but they're starting to drop the turrets. In comes Odin, Leyline, Maiev cheating. They want that camp. Divine Shield on Variant. They move for Mirrodin, and Mirrodin is dead. Odin is massacring them. Odin is killing one after another with the help of Jaina. That's 2 down. The taunt on Jimmy as he wants to go through the portal. And he's able to do that. The problem is, I do not see him escaping. Chen is dead after he just killed Jaina, so good for him. At least he got a kill. But it doesn't change the fact that Balor is not going to make it. Now they're chasing Maiev, and him attempting to save Jimmy is resulting in him dying as well. And of course, with 4 heroes remaining on the map, the team is making an immediate move for the top. The keep at the bottom of the map, by the way, has fallen. The keep at the top is taking severe damage now. So Team Zugzy is trying to end the game here. They're going straight up for the top side keep and eliminate it, and make now a play for the core itself. Seems like we're going to game number 3 in this one. Game 3 in our series here is pretty much unavoidable at this point. Mirrodin is back in 8 seconds. No way he can solo defend this. They only have 4 heroes here, but that is plenty. 10 kills to 8, and Team Zugzy takes the victory on Hanamura and is able to force game number 3 of the series. Unless they all disconnect all of a sudden. But that's not the case. Even though the red team's core is also taking some damage, they are the ones to finish things, and therefore we'll head to map number 3 to figure out which team takes the victory in this round robin group series. GG. Coming up next, we have the 3rd map of the series. If you guys enjoy the content, also consider to head over to patreon.com/Khaldor, support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene alive there. It's the best way to support the channel. Huge shout out to everybody that is already a supporter. You guys are really helping to keep this alive, and you help us to host event after event for the game here. Especially after Blizzard abandoning this already 7 years ago. It's absolutely fantastic that we're still able to do this here. So big shout out to all of the supporters. And again, if you enjoy the coverage, if you would like to support us, head over there and check it out. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the next game. Towers of Doom, we are headed to the 3rd map, so we're going the distance here. Again, keep in mind, 25 heroes are pre-banned, and now 20 more are unavailable because they were already played. That puts us in a position where we still have some fairly common heroes here on both sides, but the compositions get a bit more wild. The blue team is starting things off with Balor on Lunara. We got Gachi on Mei. Palinka is playing Oriel. We got Gamerboy on Orphea, and Hammerine is playing Azul. for the blue team, who just lost on Hanamura. Over on the right side, it is Team Zugzy with the captain on Leoric. We got Whitey on Kalthas this time. Harkness is playing Mal'Ganis. We got Akunis on Zagara. And Al Dante with the Globe Quest or Circle of Life playing Alex Straza. But it shows again that we have a lot of heroes around that you also see in other contexts. Now, the whole round robin is best of threes. Once that we're moving into the playoffs, we have a few best of threes in the initial rounds, but then we are starting with best of fives, and that's obviously where a format like this really excels. If you've been watching the channel for a few years, then you are familiar with Meta Madness. If you're not, I would highly recommend you check out the playlists that I have on the YouTube channel. There's several Meta Madness tournaments, and if you love hero variety and diversity, you are gonna adore those. That's gonna be the playlists for you. Now, we've adopted one of the rules of Meta Madness for a lot of tournaments, the rule that you can play a hero only once in the series, but the pre-bans, that's usually an exclusive Meta Madness thing, and this is why we have it here now also for this Meta Madness clone within the Polish community. But they are doing some great stuff with some of the plays that we're getting. And now when you're looking at the front lines here, specifically we have Leo Mal'Ganis against Mei and Zul. So still lots of good wave clear to rotate between lanes. Bit of an aggressive invade that we're getting from the red team on the other hand. So yep, they wanted that camp and they're getting it. But are they able to get out? That's the question, and it honestly looks like they will. If anything, it is currently Kalthas that is in trouble. So the pumpkins start connecting, and that's a solid start for Team Gachi. Nice. They didn't go for the defensive play and attempted to take their own camp. Nope. Instead, they simply moved in and grabbed themselves the opponent's pumpkin camp, and then were also able to simply walk away from it like nothing happened. So, yeah, well done. But alright, as this all continues, the question is, of course, then still, what else we are gonna get as the game plays out, especially after heroic abilities are coming in. That's gonna be a bigger question. I want to specifically see, for example, if we're gonna get some really nice combos with Maw and the follow-ups. We're looking at Kalthas for the potential Phoenix, but could also get a Pyroblast from him. Then on the other side, you're still having the tools with Ophir, and they could probably set up some very nice Jaws play from her. But yeah, that's for a bit later in the game. For now, we just have level 4 abilities kicking in. Nothing too crazy that gets picked there. But still a little bit more aggressive from the blue team, which I honestly quite like. It resulted in them getting both of the camps at the bottom of the map. And now down at the bot lane, the aggression will still continue. But it's a little bit of a slow burn for them. With the first objective now coming up, this is of course more the focus. They want to get the altars and try to walk away with 2 out of the 3. Very, very rare that you're getting a team that is able to get all 3 altars against an opponent. And well, none of these teams is from NA, so that's unlikely. But with that, we now have still not a single kill in the game. 3 minutes in and no kills. Yeah, but they're trying to change that right now as Mal'Ganis is starting to move in and approach this. Not able to quite hit it. So here comes the next quick hit. Careful also. Harkness again slowly moving back out. Trying to go for Gachi too, especially Zagara, who just keeps poking. But we have a 2-for-1 trade on the altars in favor of Team Gachi. So they got 2 out of the 3. Level 7 available. I kind of love how cautious they all are. I mean, seriously, this is the group stage and they just do not want to give up even a single map. I mean, in this case, it's also the match, of course, that's at stakes. But still, it's kind of awesome. I like it. I love aggressive games, don't get me wrong, but it's really nice to see when you have teams that just not mindlessly YOLO into each other and look for constant aggression, but really play it a bit more cautiously. And we still had some aggressive moves. I mean, here we see it again. Team Gachi is instantly making another play for those pumpkins. And they get a kill too. First blood against Mal'Ganis. So that's a kill, and that's the camp again. And that is not a good start for Team Zugzy. I mean, not even a little bit. They are definitely starting to have some serious problems in this game. So we'll see. They need to start bringing this back. And it's... yeah... again, it's a late game map. There's always the comeback map, the biggest one that we have in the map pool. In addition to that, level 10 changes the dynamic anyways. And if then late game you are able to get some nice combos off, then you can always start gaining momentum and go for the opponent's structures and take bell tower control. But at least initially, it's Team Gachi that makes the plays. And as I said, Zul gets taken out as the altar spawns at the bottom of the map. So the first good move for Team Zugzi here. They have lost a lot of their camps and they lost a few heroes. But now they're at least able to fight back a bit and they get the channel completed. Interrupt attempt was just too late. Lunara is already sitting up in the middle. And down here, the pressure continues from the looks of it. We get another Gravity Lapse connect. They're putting Mei to sleep. And there's another hit. But they can't get that kill. If they had Leo here and another slow, that might have changed things a bit. But yeah, time will tell. For now though, we're having level 10 soon coming in. And that's where the party really starts. I want to specifically see what exactly they're going to do with the ult on the side of Orphea. So, ooh, we get an avalanche. We still get the crushing jaws though. I could have totally seen them go for the ice wall and try to combo that somehow, but they don't. Phoenix also over Pyro. We have in addition to that the Devouring Maw and no surprises honestly. Level 10 gives us Carrion Swarm for Mal'Ganis for example. In the middle of the map, Zul logged into that 1v1 that he plays out against Leoric. And down at the bot lane, Mei starting to engage. Nice! And look at that combo! Oh my god! He is able to get away, but that was pretty cool. That was a really nice combo. Nice engage on the side of Mei. Avalanche straight into the jaws. They nearly got the kill. Now they get Keltas. The blue team with some pretty sweet plays in the game. And now they get themselves another kill. Harknet. Well, no, they don't. I see. Well, okay, they do. It was Mal'Ganis that was the initial target. They couldn't kill him, but they can kill Leo. And this is how it started. Look at that play. Mei is coming in. Slides in right there. Isolates Mal'Ganis. If it would have been anyone else, that would have been a clear kill. But he is able to get his ult out and then rotates back out. Still, very solid effort from the blue team. And eventually then they got their kill against Leoric at least. So now we have 24,000 for Zagara on the damage numbers. We're having 21,000 for Lunara. Yep, and the camp is back up, and keep in mind, so far it was stolen away twice. They fought for it twice, and they lost it twice. Team Zugzi did not have a lot of luck with this camp so far, but they're gonna try again. So right now, what we're getting is a couple of quick jumps from Mal'Ganis as he's trying to force that fight potentially. There's also a lot of action happening up at the top, but it's Leo that falls and not Zul, who was the intended target. So he's down. That is kill number 4 now for the blue team. We're going to be very happy about this. And given the fact that Alexstrasza has not yet completed her level 1 quest, she's currently not spawning any additional globes. Another isolation play, this time against Keltas. More even being used to isolate Gamer Boy a bit with Orphea so that he can't come in and dish out the damage. But they are all over the place now. Aegis is coming in just after Keltas makes his play. Zagara gets slapped around by Orphea. Totally clapped away here. And that's now level 13 on the board. A talent advantage. 5 kills to 1. And just massive amount of momentum that are slowly swinging towards Team Gachi. Now, this is Towers of Doom, and you can always bring that map back. But in order to do so, the red team has to also, I mean, get something going for themselves. Because right now, this is just one-way street Heroes of the Storm that we're seeing here. Tons and tons of damage that we're getting from Orphea in particular, who's sitting at 29,000 damage. We have 28,000 for Zagara, so she can at least keep up with her. But then after that, you look at Lunara, who's also sitting at 28k. And it's just starting to be incredibly rough for the red team. And let's not forget that, now that I think about it, not a single pumpkin camp at the bottom of the map was taken by the red team. Not one. Look at the mercenary camps. They haven't gotten a single camp thus far. Not one. Not even at the top lane. So it was all dominated by Team Gachi. Now that isn't the biggest difference in XP that we're seeing. Those 660 experience points are kind of nice. but they're not crazy. It's way more what we're seeing in hero experience gained from Team Gachi. But still, it's noteworthy that there is just no way so far for the red team to get themselves any kind of camp control. Now, triple. It's a triple, baby! And the big jump. Insta-kill on Zagara. Oh my god, they did it again. And they're killing Kel'Thas too, aren't they? Kel'Thas is low! It's Lunara that dies! And Kel'Thas! Yes, Alexstrasza is dead and Kel'Thas will die too. So they get a triple kill. They have to sacrifice one of their heroes. It's Lunara that dies. Now they're trying to get away with Mal'Ganis and he's able to escape. But look at these combos. Look at this. Leo first at the top and then down here. She was hiding in the bushes. Gets a full 3-man with her ult as the avalanche drops. And then Ophia follows up on it. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. They get the quick kill there. Now they take Leoric down in the middle. Nearly level 16 talents on the side of Team Gachi. And boy, oh boy, are they doing a spectacular job on this one. 28 points on the core against 20. And we'll see how much more they can get with the next altar phase, because that's a triple altar. And at a I mean, level 16 is not possible for Team Zagzi. It's not a thing. They can't bridge this gap quickly enough. The one question I have is, will the blue team be able to get themselves some control over bell towers? Because they would clearly love to at least get that. But, yeah, time will tell. Right now, I'm not 100% certain if they're going to be able to pull anything of the sorts off. But it would, of course, be nice to get that 5 versus 3 situation going for you as you're moving into the next objective, considering how far ahead they are in experience. 44,000. Look at how much damage Ophia got. She's at 44,000. She gained another 16,000 damage since we took a closer look at her and her numbers. That's wild. That's actually pretty sick. So now we have Zul already in position up at the top left. Down at the bottom of the map, we have the rest of the blue team making their play too. I think they are totally fine with the 2-for-1 trade that will put the opponent down to 12 points on the core. And Team Zagzi isn't even really fighting for this. They can just push back this time. They should be happy that there was no additional attempt to follow up with Ophia here. So, very unspectacular play on the 3 altar phase on the objective. They all basically agreed on what would happen. It's like, okay, you take 2 of them, and then we take 1, and that's about it. So, yeah, that's what they did. Now we have the next attack coming up here. And they have a little bit of a pressure play towards the middle. So that's the next one. All the way up at the top. Pushing out the next as well. And down at the bottom of the map. Yeah, they're also... I mean, they're applying pressure essentially on every single bell tower that we have on the map right now. Zula's been pushing in the middle aggressively. They're trying to go for the top 2. And while he is doing the rotation between the lanes, we're having the 4-man at the bottom aggressively pushing here as well. But now Team Zagzi with 16 talents and finally a chance to fight again on eye level is coming in with the Entomb. Aegis is out. Mal'Ganis is trying to place the big chance for the red team to start a comeback, but instead Alexstrasza is dead. They get a double, get a triple kill, and this could be a full 5-man wipe if they continue the moves. Ophia finally dies, she gets eliminated, but Kel'Thas just explodes in the back, and Lunara isn't quite done with them yet. Massive moves here from Team Gachi. Huge amount of momentum. Mal'Ganis is barely able to save himself, and the bell tower at the bottom of the map is obviously going to be controlled now by the team in blue. So, well done. And I gotta say, I am impressed. The red team in this tournament had some very nice showings, but the blue team is absolutely demolishing them here. They're crushing it. It is 13 kills to 3 right now. They're absolutely murdering them. And now we have another bell tower that gets attacked. They're not quite able to grab it that quickly. The minions have actually done a lot of damage here too, and if Lunara would have gotten a shot or 2 in, that acid alone would have destroyed the structure. But they're happy with the 5 shots fired, and that drops the red team down into the single digits. A comeback from this position on is tough. Not impossible, but it's tough. The main problem is that so far the red team just had no big moves in this game. And level 20 is knocking
for the blue team. Nice! Zul is lost, but look at that play from Mei again. Oh my god. Mei is just absolutely crushing it. They're losing Orphea again, but I don't even care. Even if they lose that fight now, Mei is murdering it initially together with Orphea time and time again, and then it seems like it's Lunara that goes for the cleanup job. So Mal'Ganis was trying to come in, but now they're following up on this again, hoping to destroy the entire team. Mal'Ganis is slowed down, and he will fall as well. So we're looking at a 5-man team wipe. Everybody dead. And this should honestly be game. You can easily take the Bell Tower in the middle if you want. There's a boss that you can grab too. And the next few altars will be spawned. There's camps on the map. You don't have an altar yet to channel. That time is actually quite a lot lower than I thought. We're only 15 minutes into the game. So as it stands, we still have heroes back up on the map that could start to defend. But the altar is now coming up. And as I said before, it's 6 Bell Towers to 2. Lunara is attacking the top. Rest of the team is getting in position around the altar. Orphea's back in 5 seconds. And the problem is that Mal'Ganis is down for another 19. So that's a problem. And a big one at that. So down here, all they have to do is properly set up. And then do their thing. And of course, there's level 20. Let's not forget about that. They have a level 20 advantage. And Team Zugzy has no other choice but fight into it. I mean, what else are you going to do here? Just accept the loss, I guess. 1 point left. I thought they would fight for this. I don't think that they have a chance with that bot lane pressure play now. I thought they would really just roll the dice and go for a fight around the altar and not accept those shots, because 1 point against 24, I mean, even a random pumpkin is not going to end the game. So, yeah, they have to take one fight. Might as well have taken the previous one. But here comes the push with the pumpkins. They're starting to slap them around a little bit. Once again, the Poison Nova. That has done so much damage in this game for Zul, by the way. That was an absolutely incredible tool for the team. Now they're pushing them even further. Flame Strike is out. More already used. Pumpkins slowly in. And they're actually defending against all of this. They're able to play that out for now. Leo is a bit low. Is not dying, so he's still alive. And they're closing on level 20. They are able to defend for now. But with a single point on the core, ooh, I'm not quite sure if they can do that. And also the Bell Tower situation has obviously not changed. They're trying to now flip the one in the mid lane again. And at least reclaim this one. But if anything, I'm a bit surprised that the boss was not taken. This is, of course, still something that could have been done by the blue team. By now, it's 20 versus 20, so you want to be a little bit more cautious. This is basically Team Gachi's game to lose, and they know it too. So they're not going to take any big risks. They know that any kind of damage against the opponent's core is immediately ending the game and the series in their favor. So on 20, we get the Master of Flames. Also interesting. Haven't seen that in a while. Nice Entomb! And the kill! Oh my god, Oriel is dead? Alright. Are they getting both here? It's 2 altars on the map, and they already got a kill, and they get the second. Zul is dead too. Zul is dead as well. Both of the altars will go to Team Zugzy. I don't even know why Team Gachi is still fighting this. They get Leoric, but even with him being dropped, this is still a 4 versus 3. So they're trying to buy time now for the heroes to come back, but they also don't have any healer. And that's a huge problem for their sustain. Now, there's a camp at the top that is going to apply more pressure to the bell tower, but the altar has been channeled. That's 3 shots fired. That's an ice block that might still lead to a kill. And they get Mei out. I am not so sure why exactly Balor thinks he needs to get kills here now, though. So, that is a bit of an aggressive jump by him, and that's Lunara gone. Okay, so at this point, the blue team needs to be a little bit careful, because right now they're really playing with fire. If you just wait for your dead heroes to come back, then you're in a decent spot. You don't need to go for that hero moment where you're making a play against the entire team and get a kill. And trying it is always posing a huge risk. So I gotta say that this one I kinda disagree with. Now it's another 3 shots fired because of the altar. That was unavoidable. But it's also a boss at the top lane that gets taken. And with this claim, it means that we're talking 14 points on the blue team's score. So all of a sudden it's 5 bell towers to 3. But they were able to grab themselves in total 10 points. So, you gotta be a bit careful with this. If Lunara wouldn't have died like that, you could have held at least some of these positions. But as it stands now, Nokia has to use their ult. The big assault happening on the bottom bell tower. In the middle, Zul fighting it out against Leoki. And down at the bottom of the map, still the play in an attempt to hold the bell tower, which is most likely going to fail now. Lunara wasn't there to help them out, so now the red team is reclaiming this. They try to go for Leo, and they get him. Nice. So, Leoric gone. Double altars coming up next. They want some bell tower control, and they get some damage. But, yeah, the more... No, that didn't hit anything. If anything, it hit Leoric. That's not the one that you want to grab. 66,000 damage from Kalthas, but the top damage in the game is still sitting with Orphea. She's at 93,000, and is soon gonna hit the 6-digit club and get the 100k. 76. Oh, Mei! There's that ice block when you need it. Some heals, and Mei is... she gets the Aegis. The fight is focusing on Alexstrasza though, and she's dead. But Mei is about to explode too. Ice blocks again. How is she still alive? This is ridiculous. They're going for Kalthas, and a big slap from Orphea. Now Zagara is next up. Mei dies, but so does Zagara, and this is only Mal'Ganis surviving. And this is just too... I mean, he can't handle that, can he now? Orphea is still there. Wall hit, and that should be a 5-man wipe once again. Lunara is already channeling at the bottom of the map. Somehow Mal'Ganis is still alive. He's absolutely on crack, but they win it. It's Team Gachi. Really fun game on Towers of Doom here, but Team Gachi takes the series. They win the best of 3 against Team Zuxi here at the Sisters Call Cup. GG.